And it's your lead story this hour. Thousands of mourners are expected to gather at Lusikisiki this morning. This is for the memorial service of the 18 victims that were fatally shot at Ngobozana Village in Lusikisiki. This was last weekend. They were preparing for the traditional ceremony when they were ambushed by heavily armed men in the no one knows, but in the early hours of Saturday morning last weekend. Now, the motive behind the shooting is not known at this stage. Now, for more on this, we bring in SABC News reporter Lerato, Fekisi and Fundiswa, Mhlekude, who are watching developments on this front. So thank you so much for your time on the program. Fundiswa, let's start with you as well as Lerato. Let's hear from you as to what is happening there. I can see people have already started to gather there in the tent. Take us through what is going to be happening there.
Have begun to make their way into the tent that has been set up for the mass memorial service for the 18 people that tragically died through a mass murder last week here in Ngobozana in Lusikisiki. People are trickling in, people from the clergy. SABC is here as well, community members, community leaders, chiefs, members of the MEC office, member from provincial government are here as well to pay their respect to the people and the families that have lost loved ones during this mass funeral, during this mass memorial service. But let me bring into the conversation Fundiswa, my colleague from the SABC, who has literally been here from the onset of the story when it actually broke on the day. Take us through just a timeline of how things went from the time the story broke last week Friday to where we are now, where memorial service has been held for these victims. Fundiswa, you have been here literally from day one, from the time the story broke until now. What is the sentiment that you are getting from the time the story broke up until now? A general feel from the community. Number one, regarding their stance towards police, and also we spoke earlier on when we said that the issue of mass killings in Lusikisiki is not something that's foreign.
Indeed, Lerato, thank you very much. We have spoken to communities. They are very concerned. They are very devastated. They are distraught. They are agonized by what has happened here. You remember that only 2 years ago we were here at France Village, where a young man hacked to death his parents, his grandfather, as well as his niece. We were at Lupondo Village, where unknown gunmen opened the door at night when the people were sleeping, and they killed 4 women as well as a young man who was there that night. But we were also at a village called Lusikisiki. That was a few years ago. Even though Lusikisiki is said to be in Port St. John's, but it is very closer to Lusikisiki. The residents are raising the concerns that when they call the police take time to come to them. So 2 years ago, we were also here when the deputy ministers converged in this small town of Lusikisiki. And the residents raised the very same concerns that they are raising today. So I believe and I hope that this today will be a wake-up call to government as well as the police to do something regarding the calls that people are talking about, that they call the police and they don't respond swiftly.
I think also last year you reported that 3 people were gunned down in that specific household last year, preparing also for Ukulaizila. Now a year later, 4 members from the same family in the same household, in the same house, have also been gunned down. I know right now that the police have taken in someone for questioning, no arrests have been made, but community members somehow have a general sense of what perhaps has happened in the household. Our residents are perhaps letting you know perhaps what they are insinuating or what their suspicions are regarding what's happening around this mass murder.
We get different versions from people, from community members. Some say they don't know what's happening. Some say they believe it's a family feud, but we don't know because the families, we haven't spoken to them, and they also want to know what exactly happened, because when the minister of in the presidency women, youth and persons with disabilities was here, even a family member was saying that when he heard about this incident, he even asked his own family, why are these women killed? Are they selling drugs? And the answer was no. Are they practicing witchcraft? And the answer was no. Is my aunt a loan shark? And the answer was no. So he was asking, then why are they killed in such a brutal manner? So the community as well as the family members are very worried about what is happening at Ngobozana Village. And as you can see that there is a full house. The people have come and they expect that the government will deliver a message today regarding what is happening here.
And I think a strong message, Fundiswa, because if 3 people are dying from one household, at the very first, the next year, 4 more people, and you're saying that numerous murders are taking place here, the community had the sense that I feel, and myself, you have been feeling, that there's a certain laxing from the police, that there's not a quick actioning in terms of prosecutions, that in Ngobozana, people say that as early as 6 o'clock you must be home, because if you're not home, you probably get gunned down. So the provincial government has got a huge responsibility. The Minister of Police also, not just come and offer condolences, but what is the plan of action? How many arrests have been made? Is there a timeline? Is there a time frame to give the people here an assurance that beyond this just being a mass memorial, people are going to be brought to book?
I'm sure when you were driving down to those 2 households, you passed by a police station. It's not far from the 2 households, and I'm sure that gunshots were heard from the police station. But what did the police do? And from what we have heard from one of the community members who refused to be mentioned by name, she was saying that one of the survivors, they said that the attackers were speaking English, and another one would say, please confirm death, after maybe he has killed 5 people. And he would say, please confirm death, and then the person would feel the body with his feet and say, death confirmed, and go to the next body and say, death confirmed, which means they had all the time to do what they were doing.
And there was an intention to kill, because we also spoke to a community member who speaks exactly to what you were saying that when he arrived here to identify his loved ones, all the people that were killed had gunshots to their head. So this was a planned murder, perfectly planned, like you're saying, perfectly orchestrated, with the intent to kill, perhaps to wipe out a family as well.
Yes, because we hear that these shootings took place at the same time, which means by the time they were shooting at the first house, the other was also shooting at the other house, which means it was organized. So that is why the community here say that they want government to act swiftly. They want the police to work with them in order to arrest those people, because they are not feeling safe. As long as they don't know who has been arrested, they will not feel safe until they hear that someone has been arrested, because they say that they will not be at peace. They want to know why. They want to know what happened. Why would people kill such a number of people just in one day?
Thank you so much, Fundiswa. That is our colleague Fundiswa just speaking gruesomely, painting a beautiful picture for you of how this matter took place, saying that someone that survived the mass shooting actually told the SABC, wanted to remain anonymous, saying that as each person was being shot, there was someone walking around saying that put your head on their face, put your head on their neck to confirm a person is dead. We also spoke to a community member who said that when he arrived on the scene on the day of that mass murder, everyone that was shot, they had a gunshot wound to the head, which means that Fundiswa was saying this specific mass murder was planned. It was properly orchestrated, planned in advance. The intention is not too clear as yet. Very conspiracies as to why the mass murder took place, but she was saying that there are speculations of family feud, but the police are investigating. But there really is a huge call, a huge plea from people here, from the municipality and also the community, saying that this mass memorial service must not just be a talk speech. It mustn't just be politicians coming forward to say we promise to bring people to book, because last people died and this year people haven't been brought to book. So saying the community is here to hear a strong message of affirmation from the Minister of Police, who's going to be the keynote speaker here, to say what is the plan of action. Yes, forensics have come forward. Yes, ballistics have come forward. But beyond that, are the people who have done this mass murder, who planned it perfectly, are they going to be brought to book? And that's the only justice this family and the community here is hoping for. So throughout the day, the SABC will be speaking to various members from the clergy, from the community members, community leaders, and also the MEC of Safety and Security, Mr. Lerato, and also will be speaking to the Minister of Police to hear exactly how far the investigation is and what the plan of action is concerning this huge and literally terrifying act here in Ngobozana Village in Lusikisiki. For now, let's go back to you guys in studio.
All right, that's our very own Lerato Fekisi, as well as Fundiswa Mhlekude, monitoring developments on that story. We no doubt will be taking you back there in the program sometime. Now it's time for us to take a quick break. We're back with you straight after this. You're watching The Agenda.